What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Football season is literally like a day away, 2 days away, and it feels like fantasy looks like it's going to be more fun this year than it's been in past years. And if you're like me, you came into this season like, hey, I'm going to draft 2 teams. I'm going to have 2 teams. I'm going to dial it back this year. I'm going to have 2 fantasy teams. And if you're like me, you ended up with 5. And that's because people kept asking you to join their leagues and you don't know how to say no. So what I want you all to do in this video particularly, 1, let me know if I cooked on these fantasy teams because we're going to break down all 5 teams. And I tried to make each team a little different than the others, depending on draft position and so forth. And yes, let me know if you think I cooked or not, or if you think my teams are ass. That's cool too. Let me know in the comments what you like. I'm going to try and tell you like some of the picks where they were. And yeah, so we got a lot of teams to cook up here. So I'm going to grade them on like a S tier scale. So S, A, B, C, D, F. And I like my teams as I do every year, and then they fail me continuously. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like this kind of content. Please like the video. But let's break down the first team. And I drafted this one on Sleeper. And I like this team. I would give it like a B. I would say like a B. I picked 8th or 9th in the draft, I believe. And my first round pick was A.J. Brown. I'm going to put the teams kind of up here as well, so you're somewhere on the screen so y'all can see them. But A.J. Brown was my first pick, and then I took Jonathan Taylor in the early second round. Got an RB, got a wide receiver. Cool, I'm happy with that. As soon as I picked A.J., I knew that in the third round I was going to try and take Jalen Hurts to get that stack and that tush-push TDs. We need it, so I thought that was a good pickup. And then after that, it was DJ Moore as my wide receiver 2. And then I had James Conner as my RB2, Terry McLaurin, Travis Kelce. I got Travis Kelce, I think, in the 4th round in this draft. So Travis Kelce has a tight end. Hopefully he's not washed just yet. Hopefully we get another good year out of him. And then Dallas kicker and the Jets defense. I think the Jets have a top 2 defense in the entire NFL, and they finally have a capable quarterback. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. I think they're going to be in better situations, put up more points, and be good. Aubrey is a kicker. Dude was lights out as a rookie last year. Enough said. My bench, you'll see typically in my bench, I'll usually go for like 2 to 3 guys that I think could actually like be like legit starting players, and then a couple dart throws to where you're in the 14th, 15th round. You're just throwing a dart, seeing if this guy might pan out as a rook or whatever he is. So I took Trevor Lawrence as a backup quarterback just in case Jalen Hurts goes down, because he doesn't play full seasons all the time. So I want to have that little insurance. Zamir White as the Raiders running back. Maybe he's RB1 this year in a team that I think is going to be very run heavy and defense heavy. I think he could have a good year. Brian Robinson, I don't really know what to expect, but I'm kind of hoping that the RPO stuff works for him and Jaden Daniels, and he's able to get some goal line touches and, put up some points that way. Josh Palmer, he's on a couple of my teams. I think that he has the best chance of being the Chargers wide receiver 1, simply because he has been the longest tenured wide receiver that they have right now. And I just think that he has the best relationship with Herbert. So that could be wrong. It could be Ladd. It could be anybody else. It could be Quentin Johnson if he manages to break out. But ultimately, I think Palmer's the best bet. And then JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm just a JSN fan. Took him at the very, I think, like 13th round or something like that. I was cool with that. But rate that team on the S tier scale. I give it a B. Then here's my second team, and this is probably my most important team because this is the league that I run as a commissioner, and I was champion last year. So I'm kind of defending the crown. I want to go back to back. Obviously, I want to be able to talk all that trash to my homies. So this draft, I picked 2nd in this draft, and I did not take CeeDee Lamb. I prefer, when you're that high, I prefer most times to go running back just because there's so few great ones, whereas you can find a lot of good receivers throughout the draft. So I went with Bijan Robinson. It was between Bijan or Breece, and I just was like, you know what? I had Bijan last year. I'm a Bijan fan. I'm going to go Bijan. So I took Bijan with the 2nd overall pick in that draft, and then I was on the back end, obviously, in the 2nd round. I managed to get Travis Etienne, so I was like, cool, I got running backs for days. At least I got 2 studs in the first couple of rounds. And then after that, the 3rd round, I went Jalen Hurts again. I'm a big Eagles fan, so I was like, let me get my quarterback fantasy monster. I should be cool with that, right? After that, we were looking at like Joe Mixon as a 3rd running back, and then DK Metcalf was in there, I think, in the 4th round. T. Higgins is one of those guys that I think we're looking at his last season more than his career as a totality, where he's been really good, except for last year he was just injured. They didn't have a quarterback. He was banged up. Those are all recipes for disaster. This year, if Ja'Marr Chase plays, he's a wide receiver 2, and he's a quality one at that. He's probably the best wide receiver 2 in the league. Or if Ja'Marr Chase doesn't play and he holds out for however many games, he's an automatic wide receiver 1. So I'll take great receivers with great quarterbacks all day long, and I think I'll be okay. I took Kyle Pitts. My last video, I believe, was a Kyle Pitts video where I think this is the year he breaks out. Kirk Cousins, all that good stuff. Target percentage, I think, is going to be better. I managed to get Jayden Reed. And then my bench was George Pickens, Jameson Williams, Geno Smith, J.K. Dobbins as a dart throw, and Tyler Algier as a handcuff with T.J. Hawkinson as my IR spot. I picked him in the very last round. And then I got Dicker the kicker. I love that guy. He's automatic. And then my defense was the Jets again. I did manage in the waivers to pick up Seattle just for this week, just to, the Jets got the Niners. That's a great team. Seattle has Denver. I don't know. But that's more weekly to weekly kind of stuff. But that team, Henry Ruggs Racing, that's a defending champ. So then my third team, Kareem Pie, I drafted from where did I draft? I think I drafted like the 7 spot or something in this league. And I picked Justin Jefferson with my first round pick there. I got Marvin Harrison Jr. in the second round, so I went wide receivers early in this one. And then RBs, I took Josh Jacobs, I believe, in the third round, I want to say. Kenneth Walker followed him up. And then there was Kyle Pitts again. I took Rashee Rice he kind of fell a little bit, so I was happy to get him. I got T. Higgins again. So you're going to see some of these guys are kind of redundant. Some guys are, but I tried to at least change it up with the first couple of rounds just to, get some duality on my teams. And then we're looking at Kyler Murray as a quarterback, pairing him with Marv. I love that pairing all season long. Then we have on the bench Jerome Ford, who I think is going to be the RB1 in Cleveland, so that could be really good. He was good last year. Jaden Daniels as a backup QB. Josh Palmer again. Threw a dart on Trey Benson. Just, why not? I'm in the last couple of rounds. And then I got Kenneth Walker's handcuff in Zach Charbonnet. Dicker the kicker again. And then I got the Ravens defense in this draft. So ultimately, this one I would give like a B+, A-, honestly. And then honestly, the Henry Ruggs Racing team, the second team I drafted, I'd probably give like a B+ as well. So I think I'm kind of right in that idle spot where like I'm happy, but obviously it's fantasy. You're going to have to make moves in order to win in the end. Second to last team. It's a lot. This was the team I actually drafted last of them all. I named it Peeping Neighbors, and you can guess who one of my draft picks was off of that. But I picked fourth in this draft. Fourth in this draft. And the guy that was picking third took Jalen Hurts, third overall in the draft. So right then I knew I've got a moron drafting in front of me. I'm probably going to cook in this draft. So I took Tyreek Hill because I was like, I've already got Bijan. There's another name that I'll say later that I have because he's on the last team. I've already drafted so many of these early guys. Let me take Tyreek Hill. Screw it. Let's see what happens. Then, second round, I got Kyren Williams because he fell a little bit. Third round, I got Travis Etienne. He fell a little bit. I'm like, okay, we're doing great right now with this team. And then in the fourth round, I took Malik Neighbors. I said, screw it. Let's take a chance on a high potential rookie in an offense that doesn't have any other receivers. He should be awesome. And then Kenneth Walker III. I tried to get him on a lot of teams. I just love his play style. I think if the way their offense is talking about him is using him more of a pass catching back, could be really good for fantasy purposes. Took Jake Ferguson towards the 9th or 10th round as my tight end. I'll take that all day long with CD being option A and older Brandon Cooks being option B. I really just like Ferguson's red zone potential and midfield potential. I think he could be kind of like Laporta was last year. Obviously, I don't think he's as good as Laporta, but I think numbers-wise and volume-wise, he could be there. But here's where I think this team goes into potentially S tier, is the bench. I have David Montgomery, who the Lions RB2 is going to feast in touchdowns all season long. That's how that's going to work. T. Higgins is my second bench player on this team to let you know how far he fell in the draft. Jayden Reed, I love Jayden Reed. I love slot receivers. You're closer to the quarterback, you are more likely to get the ball, and he showed great continuity with Jordan Love last year. Jerome Ford again, took him again. then Ladd McConkey and Jalen Polk as some dart throw wide receivers at the end of the draft. Maybe they blow up. Who knows? The Patriots got to throw to somebody. The Chargers got to throw to somebody. And it's very interesting to see. Both were picked early in the second round, so they should get targets. And I took the Dolphins kicker, just in case Tyreek Hill doesn't score a touchdown. Maybe I'll get a field goal out of the drive. And the Texans defense. I like the Texans defense. They've added a bunch of good young talent or great young talent, honestly, the last couple of years. Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie, Will Anderson. That's just to name a few. It's a good team out there. They are a Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. But, they got to prove it, of course. So, my last team, Dicker Down. This one I picked from the 8 spot in this one. And I kind of realized I was kind of drafting with some morons in this one that I got joined into. I was picking 8th, and I managed to get Breece Hall. I didn't trade. I didn't voodoo anybody, but I got Breece Hall at 8. I was considering him at 2 in other leagues. So getting him at 8, I think automatically I feel like I'm jumping right into S tier just because of that. And then in the second round, I managed to get A.J. Brown. I was like, cool, I'll take A.J. Brown. The third round, Marvin Harrison Jr. fell to like pick 28. Got him. I'm just like, okay, we're winning off the first 3 picks of Breece, AJ, and Marv. It's wraps for everybody else. And then 4th round, I got Chris Olave, who fell from like pick 20 all the way to pick like, I want to say like high 30s. I forget what it was, but ultimately you're cooking when you got that. And then I got David Montgomery later on. I got Kyler Murray to stack with Marv. I love that stack this year, like I already said. Rashee Rice, we know that he can be as long as he's not suspended. Pick DeAndre Swift as just a backup running back for the eventual need. Jerome Ford, same concept. Jaden Reed, same concept as getting him on a lot of my other teams. And then Caleb Williams I was like, we'll get a backup quarterback just in case Kyler goes down. I will take Caleb Williams and live with the results. And then Braylon Allen as a Breece Hall handcuff just in case he goes down because he did tear his knee a couple years ago and I want to be safe. Dicker the kicker, obviously. And then I drafted the Seattle Seahawks defense and the Eagles defense. I think both of these were drafted. I don't think these were waivers. Only position I think that I kind of might have screwed up on in this one was tight end with Brock Bowers. He's a really highly touted rookie tight end, but I just don't know how much is going to go around in that offense. And I'm going to be honest, I was drafting a bunch of RB1s and a bunch of wide receiver ones that I forgot about tight end. I made maybe one mistake in this whole thing, but when dudes are falling, I just couldn't pass. So I would give this an S tier grade just because getting Breece at 8, Marv at 28, and then Olave at like 30-something. And yeah, the whole thing just turned out perfectly. I think I'm going to dominate that league. I may not ever have to make a move. And I'm super excited about that. But in the comments, let me know which team y'all think is the best one. And did I cook? Did I get cooked? Let me know. But if you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please like the video. Also, let me know, who'd you draft? Who were guys that you were targeting? Who were guys you got on multiple teams? Who are dudes you flat out avoided? And let's have a conversation about fantasy football because we're a couple days away from the season. And this is where it gets really, really fun. So, thanks for watching. I'm done. Peace.